It is exactly 10 past 9. This is News and Views on Salam Media. And of course, this is where we welcome to the program our listeners in Polokwane. And that, of course, is on One Nation FM. In this next hour, we are going to be talking with attorney Aslam Mayat, son to the late Zuleika Mayat. And she is obviously the late renowned author of Indian Delights. We are going to be paying a special tribute to her on the show this morning. Ayub Daraba, a tour operator, is going to talk to us about Al Aqsa Week and the current atmosphere in Jerusalem. But first up, we're going to talk with Itani Rasalanavho. He's the guy that did the long walk for Gaza. Apparently, he's completed the walk, and let's hear from him. It started on the 25th of January. It ended on the 4th of February. How is he holding up? And what were the highs and lows for this amazing young man? It was a journey of solidarity and hope, and the funds, of course, is to be used for healthcare in Gaza. Itani, salaam alaikum to you. Welcome to the show.
Walaikum salam. Thanks to you and the listeners.
So, where are you right now as I'm speaking with you this morning?
I am in Durban. Um, I am on my way to two schools. We are going to hand over school shoes to the learners in two different schools here in Durban. It is part of an extension to the program that I am part of. The People Against Oppression is an organization that is very broad, if I can say.
Mm.
Each and every director there too have got a very dynamic program of their own. So one of the directors is part of an organization, Humanity South Africa. That is Mr. Baghdad. With him, we are going to distribute school shoes to school children in relatively disadvantaged communities in Durban. This is part of their annual program. And come I tell you, it just happened that it's one of the programs that I also am part of in Johannesburg. So I'm very grateful to be part of this as an extension to what we've been.
Alhamdulillah for that. So, the long walk for Gaza ended on Saturday, I presume, or Sunday.
Yes, it ended yesterday. It ended yesterday
Right.
on a very high note. It ended up on a very high
Okay.
note at People's Park. Yes.
Tell us about it. How are you feeling right
Um.
now? How did you feel yesterday? And when you
Yes.
talk about a high note, what happened that made you feel that this was an amazing high for you?
First and foremost, I think my legs are a bit confused. They've gotten used to the walking. Remember, remember, I'd been preparing for this,
Yeah.
for the walk for so long. So at this time, I would be tired generally on each and every day from end of November, if I can say. So here I am. I'm just relaxed today, having ended the walk. So, but otherwise, the program at People's Park was beyond success. It was a great program with massive turnout. It was a children's fun fair with kiddies plays and such. Face painting. We had butterflies with the Butterfly Souls program, whereby kids were painting butterfly key holders and Palestinian and African American Palestine on them to create key holders. But other than that, there was a massive turnout from different organizations, of which we recognized something about it. There was a large number of of people. Firstly, it was a lot of people from different religions, different race groups, and such. So it was a massively diverse program, and the support was great. For me, it was more emotional because preparing for this was not easy, and having achieved what we have and beyond our expectations, it was emotionally touching. But otherwise, I'm very great that it happened the way it did. Wish everybody that was available to thank them first and wish they could support others the same way that they did our program.
Alhamdulillah for that. So, on the 25th of January, you started in Soweto. You covered Vosloorus, Marlborough, Sandton, Balfour, Standerton, Harrismith, Falksters, Newcastle, Dundee, Ladysmith, Escourt, Pietermaritzburg, and Durban. So it started on the 25th of January in Soweto. You went through all those little towns on different days, and you ended off in Durban on the 4th of February. Um, did you think that this was doable for you? at any point during your walk, and I do know that you stopped in the evenings to, obviously, you needed your rest, you slept over. The program was very well organized, and then the next morning, at the crack of dawn, you started the next leg of your journey. So, number one, did you think it was doable? Number two, on average, how many kilometers a day did you cover?
First, I need to stress that there were two other stops that were added. That was Glencoe as well as Colenso. So it
Okay.
was basically 16 stops instead of 14.
Okay. Mm,
Yes, it was. It seemed doable because of the preparations. You know, the walk itself. I was prepared for the walk. Then came the other programs whereby there were advocacy work where we would talk to people in different communities, as well as the fundraising part. I thought it would be strenuous to me, considering that there's the walk and the talks. But I already knew, but I didn't know to that extent that I am a speaker. I love speaking, so it was easier for me to stand in front of the people and talk. You see,
mm,
so I enjoyed it all. I enjoyed the work because I was ready, and enjoyed the talking as a speaker. So it was expected that it would be a success. And besides the expectations, it was about commitment. I put myself on the line, psychologically prepared myself that whatever challenge that would face, I will face it head on. I was prepared for the rain. I was prepared for the cold. Alhamdulillah, God was on our side. We didn't experience any rain throughout the walk, except
mm.
in standard 10. But we had alternatives because there were children who went into a hall. But other than that, everything went perfectly well. And I was ready for it, and the team was more than ready for it. We had a debriefing session yesterday, and everybody was happy with everyone's contribution to the program.
How many people accompanied you on this long walk?
I was accompanied by 5 people. Four of them are recoveries who are former drug addicts, drug recoveries who are from a program called RAUF, the Recovery and Upliftment Foundation, which is based in Durban. These are recoveries. They've been off drugs for 7, 5, 4 years, all of them, but they still remain within a program because the program is just beyond just recovering. It also helps with psychological and other forms of upliftment. You see, so I was accompanied by the 4 guys. They provided, if I can say, security, just the presence, as well as media coverage, as well as a senior, Mulana Rafik Hassan, who's
Mm,
also a executive director of the People Against Oppression. He was part of the program. He guided us a lot. We were saying it yesterday that with his guidance, he made things very easy because he knows people. He has been doing dawah for years. He speaks of
yes,
starting at a very young age when just after the wagons, he did dawah with people who did wagons at some point in their lives. So it was a success mainly with his experience and the guys that were with me. So it was 6 of us.
Alhamdulillah. On average, how many kilometers did you cover on a day?
It was between, you can say 30. You can say 30
Oh, wow.
kilometers a day was
Okay.
covered because there are instances where we took longer than other places. Like in Johannesburg, from Post Loras going to Standerton, it was a gruesome stretch.
Mm, mm.
To
And
Balfour,
if,
it was a gruesome
right.
stretch, as well as
Okay.
Harry Smith back to Standerton. But otherwise, others were a bit shorter, relatively shorter.
And of course, in between, you did take your breaks to stop to eat, to rest, to refresh yourself. And at night, then you obviously, you rested and had lots of, I should imagine, pep talks, so to speak. Um,
Yeah,
the all important question then, and I commend you guys for taking the recovering substance abusers along with you, because you give them purpose, you give them grounding, and you make them realize anything and everything is possible. And we hope that more and more such people in recovery come on board and start reclaiming their lives, inshallah. Did you achieve your end goal, and that is raising funds for healthcare in Gaza?
we are still waiting for pledges to be sent through, but otherwise, having calculated the pledges and what we have acquired so far, we're very much close to what we had targeted. which would mean that we didn't exactly reach the target, but we are very, 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 very close to the target. We hope more and more people could contribute to the program. And besides that, we also hope to have, as I'm heading back to Johannesburg, I wish to also host some more programs in Johannesburg, which will go towards this funding. Mostly because most of these programs fundraising was not done in Gauteng, and that's my home province. You see, so I would urge
Mm.
Gautengers to contact me, and we see how we can also assist in fundraising. We don't need much, so we don't need that much. But Gauteng is the economic hub. I think it will be just a snap of a finger to get this done. You know?
What did you learn from all of this?
um, Find yourself in anything that you do. Find yourself first. Allah needs you to find yourself in order for you to be His tool. Allow yourself to be a servant. Allow yourself to serve others in order for you to be blessed. This has helped me to see things in that way, as well as to be humbled. To be humble at all times. Try be humble in all instances, and do not allow anything to overwhelm you, so that you could be so much that you could be proud and overly take pride in yourself. Just be yourself, but
Subhanallah.
look out for what you can do to help others, because we are human beings in the process of being. So ours is development, evolving. So that cannot happen without our contribution. Everybody must put their hands into, must bring their hands and help. We cannot fold hands, look aside, look and just look, because in most cases, those that fold their hands and just look only do one thing: they critique and point fingers.
Mm. Okay, a great learning lesson for you there, Alhamdulillah, and for all of the people that were on this journey with you. What were the highlights? You know, you went through 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 16 towns throughout. You started in Johannesburg, ended in Durban. What was the highlights and the lowlights for you? There must have been times when you felt very challenged. What was that? And what were the great highlights that you'll ever, forever cherish deep inside your heart?
The first highlight was while we were on the walk, the ICJ issued a judgment, and that served a lot
Mm,
to boost our morale. It boosted our
right.
morale massively. Yes. And secondly, going to the small towns and having a massive reception from those small towns, because we used alternative routes. That's how we ended up in Balfour, Standard 10, and so. Like Balfour, for instance, the reception was massive. When we got there, it was a small group of people, but at the end of the program, everybody was willing to join in and lend a hand. The third part, the down part of it, number one, is the rejection from some municipalities. You must understand that it is not the ANC that is governing in each and every municipality. There are certain municipalities that are governed by those that are pro-Zionist. I don't think Salam Media would be okay with me mentioning, but we all know who they are. The municipalities that are governed by those that are anti-Israel, anti-Palestine, and pro-Israel made it difficult for us. We arranged programs, and by the time we got there, we hear that the officials are making it difficult. They've cancelled the request, and stuff like that. Some of them had agreed to come to our programs, but just changed on the last minute. So we faced those challenges. That is where Mulana Rafiq from the People Against Oppression came into the picture. He ensured that we have alternatives. We always had a second plan in each and every case. So whenever we had that form of disappointment, something else came up and things ran smooth. You see, so with all the negatives, we only got we managed to turn them into positive, turning those lemons into lemonade. And that was also part of the lessons that I learned along the way, to say, do not give up when things are not going your way. Be like water. If water bumps against a stone, it doesn't stop. It looks for a way around the rock. That is what we did.
Subhanallah. An amazing long walk for Gaza. It's taught you a lot. You are a much stronger and more insightful person. You realize the power of service, and that each and every one of us here on earth, regardless of our color, creed, or religion, need to be in service. We need to put out a hand to help anyone who needs to be uplifted. So, Alhamdulillah for that. You have come out of this a bigger, better, and a stronger person. But where to from here for you? Because your life's never going to be the change after this awakening, this journey, this amazing journey of service.
Firstly, I think it's a matter of draw back and observe what will be the way forward. Allow those that recognize the work that we have been doing to come and talk to what we can do moving forward. But otherwise, continue with what I've been doing. For instance, I'm going back to Johannesburg to work on the collection of school shoes. And I missed my annual birthday program, which is going to the streets and spend a night with street dwellers around or on my birthday for that night. I'm going to have to work around that and spend a night with the street dwellers, invite those that are willing to come and join, to come join me on the street, as well as us edge and pledge with edge others to pledge for the support towards this school shoe campaign that we will launch very soon as we move forward. But like I said, it's a matter of drawing back and see what we do moving forward after a couple of days, if not weeks.
Are you a full time activist or do you have another job, another side hustle, so to speak?
I'm a full-time activist. I'm a full-time activist. I was a spokesperson for a union, but gave up just before COVID. COVID happened. I panicked for a while, but I realized that this could be Allah's work. So I'm a full-time activist, yes.
Alhamdulillah for that. Itani, I think that you're an amazing person. Can't wait to meet you in person, inshallah. Lots to talk about going forward, how you can mobilize other young people and possibly even other lost youth. Show them the way, show them the way to redeem yourself and to pick yourself up is through service, inshallah. So, yeah, we need to have many more discussions. Allah be pleased with you, inshallah, and stay strong. Lovely
Thank
talking
you.
with you. Keep us in your dua. Assalamu alaikum to you.
Welcome, salam. Thank you very much. You and the listeners, yes.
28 after 9. This is News and Views on Salam Media. We're going for an ad break, and when we come back, we will be joined by Ayub Dadabai. He is a tour operator, and he's going to tell us exactly what's the state of play regarding the atmosphere in Jerusalem, very especially Al Aqsa week.